How to use under eye concealer on mature skin? It's actually easy and quick when you know how. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it step by step. Kimberly, and this is Pretty Over 50, and today we're talking about how to use under eye concealer on mature skin. I know it can seem confusing, but promise me it's super simple and super easy and super fast once you know how. And I'm going to go over exactly the perfect process for mature skin right now. So my face is mostly made up. I've got my eyes done, my foundation on, my blushes and bronzers. Now it's time to put on my concealer. So I've left that part of my makeup undone. I'm going to show you step by step how to remove the appearance of those dark circles under your eyes. I'm going to do just one eye at first so we can really compare the two eyes. So to begin with, I have prepped my skin before I even started my makeup with my serums and my moisturizers, and I always allow those at least 20 minutes in order to really absorb into my skin. So that's a great tip for when you're doing your makeup. Make sure that the products that you've prepped your face with really have time to absorb and really blend into your skin. I'm going to start out the process by applying a primer. And generally I do this over my entire face before I do my makeup, but I've left the under eye area free of primer right now so that we can do it together. This is the e.l.f. Mineral Infused Primer, and I really like this one, particularly for under eye concealer, because once you put it on and put the concealer over it, it really does not move. It holds that product in place, and that's one of the things that we want. You know, with mature skin, we've got a little more movement underneath our eyes in that area that has the fine lines and wrinkles, and I like to think of them as all my little nooks and crannies. So anything that we can do to keep that product sitting where we put it is really going to help our under eye look really stay nice for most of the day. So I'm going to put a little bit of this primer on the back of my hand. You can see I have just a tiny dot, and I'm going to tap it over the under eye area. And I'm going to be doing just this eye so then we can compare the two when I'm done. So just a very, very light application of that under the eye. And when you're working with under eye concealer, less is more. There seems to be a tipping point where too much product ends up just making a mess and making things look worse. But if we can get a nice thin layer of each product underneath my eyes, we've got a great chance of it staying nice and smooth throughout the day. Now, when I'm working on my under eyes, I like to make sure that I max out at 3 products. Once I have my primer on, I know I have room for 3 products applied very, very lightly in order to cover up that under eye area. If I start layering on more than 3 products, it ends up getting too heavy and too cakey, and that really soft, delicate skin under your eyes just can't handle it, and it ends up breaking up and making things look worse. The first product I'm going to apply is the L'Oreal True Match Under Eye Color Corrector, and this is in the color Peach. And what this is going to do is it's going to counteract that kind of purple tone that I have right in that ridge down there. A lot of us, as we get older, we get that sunken area, and it becomes a ridge that sinks in, and it causes a shadow, which then makes our under eye bags look more prominent. So this peach color is going to counteract that color, and I'm going to put on just a very, very light application of this right in that area. Once I've got that on, I'm going to blend it in very gently with my ring finger. And the reason I want to use my ring finger is because it really doesn't have much power. So even if I'm pressing hard, it's still a very, very gentle application. So you can see already between the two eyes, just that peachy color corrector has made a distinct difference between the way that that color is showing up underneath my eye. So you can see this is the eye without any corrector, and this is the eye with the corrector. Once that peachy corrector has had just a few moments to sink in and settle in and kind of dry down a little bit, I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer, and I'm using the color, it's called Brightener. Now this is a wonderful product. It's very popular. You've probably seen it in your own local drugstore. I use it in a different way. It comes with a little sponge on the end. I don't really like this sponge. It's hard to get a smaller application of the product with that sponge, so I just ripped it off and then I just twist this and the product comes out of that little tube. So I'm just going to get a tiny amount on my finger and I'm going to gently tap it underneath that eye where I need the color correction. And again, you can see how little product I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and tap that out. And I find that it really helps to look up while I'm doing this, because that really helps smooth out the nooks and crannies that I have underneath my eye. So you can see a difference already with the color correction and the concealer on this eye and nothing on this side. It's quite a big dark circle under this eye. So now that I have that all smoothed out with my finger, I'm going to take a beauty sponge, dampen it just slightly with my water bottle, and then I'm going to very lightly press that product into the skin. It's a very light touch. And this is going to help give a real smooth, satiny finish to that concealer that you really can't get with a brush or with your finger. So it really does smooth that product out. So now that I have the color corrector and the concealer on, I'm going to go in and set that with a little bit of powder. And I know it's hard to imagine putting powder under our eyes because we just don't want that kind of heaviness. But setting with just a very finely milled small amount of powder will really hold that product in place. So today I'm going to be using the e.l.f. HD Finishing Powder, and I really love this powder. And the interesting thing is that it's actually a compact. It's not a loose powder. And I just kind of stumbled upon this combination to use it for my under eye concealer by accident. And I really haven't found anything else that I love as much as this. So I'm going to take a small angled brush from e.l.f. I'm going to tap it in to that powder right there, tap off any excess, and then I'm very carefully going to lay that powder right underneath in that eye area. Very gently. Then I'm going to brush off any extra powder on that brush and go back under and just smooth that eye area. And you can see, isn't that amazing, the difference between the two? This is color corrected, we've got a concealer on, a light powder to set it in place, and this is the eye without any. So if you've ever been frustrated with under eye concealer, if you have mature skin, you really can get a look of an improvement when you use the right products and apply them the right way. All right, I'm gonna jump off right now, do the other eye, and I'll be right back. So I have both eyes done, and you can see what a difference. So it is easy, it is simple once you know how, and once you have the right products to use. So I hope you enjoyed this video on how to use under eye concealer on mature skin. I'm really glad that you joined me. If you found this helpful, be sure to click like and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Again, I'm Kimberly, this is Pretty Over 50, and I really appreciate you spending part of your day with me. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.